Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the 75 TR6 in the Rusty Beauty's garage. And now we're gonna start working a little bit more persistently, if that's a word, on it, because I need to get rid of it. Not that I don't like it, not that I don't like Trevor, but I need the space because now I have 2 weeks off work, of my official work, and I want during this time to finish TR6, deliver it to Trevor, go to my workplace, put my GT6 together, just together enough so I can move it and bring it here, because I want to start working on that car again, but that's another story. So anyways, today we can start finishing this project, if I can say that. In the previous episode we assembled the front suspension, so that's out of the way now, and now what we have left here is the differential, which is taken apart, and I have the parts already for it, the engine, which is taken apart, and I have all the parts in this box and in that bin over there. And we also have the transmission, which needs a little bit of work too, changing seals and gaskets, and we have them here on the table as well. And then of course we have to put everything together. All the interior is taken out because I needed it out for the transmission. Here inside we have all these parts. Nice seat, eh? I had nowhere to put that, so I just installed it as a driver's seat. Anyways, so for this video I think we're gonna start with the differential. I mean, we're gonna finish the differential because we started working on it in another video. So now we're gonna finish it, and since that's not gonna be enough for one video, well, maybe we should throw in some transmission work in the same video, and once that's complete, and from the next video we can start with the engine, which it's halfway done, but I haven't showed you yet. So I have a lot of footage that I have to edit, and anyways, that's gonna be in the next video. So let's start with the differential today. So we have the two axles here with the plates for the seals, and we have two new seals to install there. You know that we already changed the pinion seal in another video. And we also have front and rear mount, so we can change the 46 years old ones with new fresh ones. We even have new washers for the new mounts. So that should be a pretty straightforward job, right? I hope so. Okay, so first we have to take out the old ones. So that was the outside, that's why the seal was put this way. So now we're gonna put the new one. So we need a little bit of lubrication here. So I just happen to have my assembly loop handy. And let's go and push this on the press. So the seal was pushed in until it was flush with this rim or whatever that is. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. That's it. We made sure that the block hit the rim. Alright, so now here, I'm not really sure why there's no gasket, but that's how it is designed, without a gasket. And I just don't trust that. And I always put Permatex Aviation for my gasket here. Maybe they rely on this cone here on the side. I don't know, actually. I'm gonna put a little bit there too. Maybe it seals, maybe it doesn't, but just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna put some. Okay, before we put that though, we have to put the actual axle. There you go. And now we can close this. I'm gonna clean this a little bit. Make sure that it's not scored or anything, because it's gonna damage the shaft, the seal right away. This one looks good. A little bit of assembly lube again, even though we already put on the seal, but it won't hurt. And then we can put it on. The key is still here. Okay, and the rest we're gonna drive in with the nut. Alright, and what's left here is only to change the rear mounts, and we're gonna be ready to install it on the car. But I just remembered that I don't have oil, so I went and I ordered oil. So when it arrives, we're gonna fill it up, because it's easier to fill it up now than to do it when it's mounted. So we're not gonna mount it yet. Look at that. So the transmission is on the table, as you can see, and we can look at where it was leaking from, because the problem with this transmission was that it was leaking, nothing else. I didn't have a chance to drive the car, just a little bit on my front lawn, but Trevor said that when he drove it, it was driving well. The gears were going in and out properly, they were not popping out, so they should be good. The only problem is it leaks, and from looking under the car before, I determined that it leaks from right here around those shafts. There are seals here, there are O-rings here, and I think that's where it leaks from, because you can see it spread all over and it drops down here, and from there it goes down. But anyways, we're gonna have to take this out, so we're gonna change gasket here. I don't think we're gonna change this gasket because it involves way too much work, and I don't think it's leaking from there anyways. I think this gasket is good. We'll see if we can change this seal as well, and the only problem is we didn't get this seal for here, but I think it's not leaking from there anyways. We'll see. So yeah, let's first see if there's oil in it so we can drain it, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so we have it open, and here I already checked. Everything looks great. There's no chipped gears or anything. Switch on reverse so we can turn all the gears. All gears look good. I can even see the leg gear underneath on some of the gears of the leg gear, but everything looks fantastic. So I don't think we have any work inside. The only thing I can't really check is the synchro rings, but Trevor said that the gears were going in nicely, so I believe there's no problem here. So I'm not going to go into very many explanations here of how the transmission works. I have another video of a GT6 transmission that is very similar to this one, and there I explain a little bit more about it. So if you want to know more about transmission, how it works, watch this video here. Here I'm just gonna say that the way you switch gears is with this and this. These are called synchro hubs. When you slide this backwards, it's first, then you slide it forward, it's second, then slide this backwards, it's third, and slide this back forward, it's fourth gear, and this is for reverse. And I'm explaining that because the shifter mechanism has these forks. So these forks are what goes inside these synchro hubs and what moves them back and forth. And this is our shifting mechanism. So we have the shifter that goes inside here with this bow. Here there must be a string and a little bow inside that are missing, but that's another story. So that's how the shifter goes in. So these three shafts underneath with their ends form this channel inside, if you can see it, and this bow travels left and right through this channel, and when we push backwards it pushes one of them forward, and when you push forward it pushes one of them backwards, only one at the time. So that's why they are here, because the shifter slides one of them, and then this shaft is the one responsible for this fork, the middle shaft is the one responsible for this fork, and then the last one on the left side of the car, I believe it is when it is not upside down, is responsible for this little shifter here, which is for the reverse. So we're gonna have to take the shafts out, change the o-rings, and then put the shafts back in. How we're gonna take them out is we're gonna have to undo these screws here, because this is what holds the fork in place, and once the fork is not there, the shaft is going to be able to slide all the way out. What we need to have in mind is that there are three bows here, I believe, in this hose. Here there are three cups that hold springs and bows inside. These bows fall into a channel inside the shaft. You're gonna see it when we take it out, so it kind of gives it a position. So that's it. Too much explanation. Let's try and do it. Let's undo. Let's see if we can take these caps out first, because I don't know how I'm gonna take them out. But here there are two types of these plugs. Some are screw type, some are cap type, like plug type. So this is, I managed to remove one already, and it is the plug type, and it is harder to remove, but I somehow figured out a way. I'll show you. Let me first pull out the bowl from there. Let's see if that's gonna work. Nope, need a stronger magnet. There you go. Let's see if the other ones are gonna work the same way, because to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to work. So I have a big file that fits inside there, and I just shook it a little bit. Okay, it's coming out. There you go. This one came out. So this one has something else as well there on top of the spring. Okay, so this one had a spacer here on top of the spring, and it has a smaller spring. Okay, let's see the last one. Did the bow come out? No. Anyways. Okay, did. Okay, so another big spring. So only the one for the reverse was a little bit smaller. Maybe that's how it's meant to be. I don't know. One bow. We're still missing one bow. It's gonna come out. So now let's loosen this screw here, this set screw that holds the fork. Nope. So this one moves. Shouldn't forget to put Loctite. You see, there was Loctite there, or thread lock, or whatever you want to call it. So now there's a spacer here to limit it how far it goes in that direction. There's no spacer behind it, that's the middle one, and that's more for me. If I forget, I can come back and watch this video. So now we can pull it out completely. I hope something's holding it. Oh, I see what's holding it. Here it's hitting the other two, so the other two have to come out first. But I wanted to take this one out because it's on my way for this screw. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with that. Okay, let's try with the one for reverse. Oh, this one started moving, okay. Okay, so the reverse one has a spacer too on the back. So it's the shortest spacer goes for the reverse. The medium one goes for first and second, and for third and fourth is the longest one, just for the record. So now hopefully we can pull out this. Can we? No, we still have there something. Oh, so this one doesn't have a bow. Okay, so the one for the reverse doesn't have a bow, it has this like a cone thing. So that's for reverse, okay. And we still can't move it? Okay. Now it's gonna move. There you go. So this one comes out. Okay, so that comes out. The selector and the sleeve or spacer. So let's see now if we can take out the middle one, or it's still gonna catch this one. No, this one has to come last, but I can take the other one out first because this one is on my way. It's kind of like catch-22. Alright guys, you get the idea. I'm gonna have to figure out how to take this screw out. I'm not gonna hold you here. Well guys, I totally butchered the head of this pin, and I'm gonna have to source another one, unfortunately, but at least we can continue doing our job here. I'm pretty sure I have this pin somewhere, so we're gonna find another one, but yeah, it was really hard to come out. Anyway, now should be able to take out this shaft first. Yep, like we said, here we have the medium-sized pin, not pin, sleeve, and then the longest sleeve is on the one in the middle. Okay. Well, and this is the reason why we actually took apart everything. So this is where the O-rings live, inside these cavities. Okay, so let's take this plate out. There are O-rings there, but they feel plastic. Yeah. So here we have 3 new seals. My fingers are so greasy that I lubricated them. So now we can put the shafts back, but first let's see what we're gonna do about the screw, or the pin that we're missing. Here, at the end of these shafts, actually we have 3 more of these pins. And these are in such location that I can actually cut this off from here and use it here, and take this one out and use it for down there. Okay. To be on the safe side, I'm not gonna use the wrench here, I'm gonna use the vise, so we don't ruin this one as well. I'm not gonna move this. I'm gonna put this here. Before we assemble it, we have to address something else here. As I was cleaning the shafts, these two pins came out. Then I remembered that there's some part here of the shafts here in the front, which is like an interlock mechanism, which doesn't allow more than one shaft to be out of place. If this one goes in reverse, let's say, because that's the reverse, I think, then the other two are locked and they can't move. Or if we are in third or fourth gear, same thing, the other two shafts can move. So what I did is I came here and I removed those switches from here, here and here, and I found inside two more bows, these two more bows. So these two bows and these pins are forming this interlocking mechanism. So let me show you how it works. Okay, so these two shafts for first and second and third and fourth gear have a hole through that goes right through them, and that's where these two pins go, like this. The one for reverse doesn't have a through hole, but it has a slot for the bow. So in between the three shafts there are these two bows that go like that. So if we move this shaft, it's gonna push the bow in, and that bow is gonna push this pin inside, this pin is gonna push the other bow, and now these two shafts are locked by the bows. So if we want to move them, we have to return this one, which is gonna allow this bow to go back, and now these two shafts can move, but one of them again, because if one moves, if let's say this one moves, that's gonna push this bow this direction, that's gonna push the pin is gonna push the other bow is gonna lock the other shaft. If we want to move the shaft in the middle, we're gonna have to return this shaft in place, that's gonna allow the bow to go back, and now we can move this shaft, but that locks the other two shafts, you see. So that's the mechanism that we need to assemble. We know that we have to put the one in the middle first, because if we put the other ones, they're not gonna fit. I have transmission assembly lube. I'm gonna put just a smidge here because the O-ring is gonna get rid of most of it anyways. Then we're gonna put one of the pins here inside, and that's how it goes. So we're gonna shove it in. This is the offset one, so that's for first and the second. This is pretty symmetrical, so that's the one, and it goes in this direction. Yeah, this one has the longest tube. Spacer, and it goes like this, and make sure that our pin is still here, and there you go. We're gonna put our screw just loosely here, but we're gonna take it out after, and we're gonna put thread locking agent. Now here, doesn't matter which one goes next, let's put the one with the pins. We're gonna put again assembly lube, then the other pin, and we're gonna start it, but before we go past this channel here, we're gonna put one of the bows through the side hole, and we're gonna make sure that it goes all the way to the, well, I think it went too far, did it? Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna turn it this way. Now I can drop my bow. There you go, and it went inside the channel here. Between these three channels there's a hole across, so now it went in there. So it's right there. Now we can put this shaft, making sure that the pin is still in place. Now this is not gonna go through if this is not in the right place, right? The right position, there you go. Now it went through. There. Now we're gonna put this switch here so we don't lose the pin when we flip it around. I hope that the pin on the other shaft is still there now. Okay, let's flip it now. The pin is still there on the shaft in the middle. So now on this side we can put this bow, and now this shaft has a slot for the bow on one side and notch for the switch on the other side, because that's for your reverse light. And because the other two are in position, I was able to put it in. That's also how your reverse light works. When it's in neutral, this bow falls inside that notch, but when you slide to reverse, like this, the bow comes out of the notch and gets pushed in and makes contact between these two. Now we're gonna have to pull them one by one out again to put the forks in, but that's fine. So let's do reverse first. I'm gonna pull it out. There you go. Once like this, right? And then the short tube. There you go. So now we make sure that this bow here is in place so we can slide this one out. Here we have to be careful not to lose the pin. Then the other fork, which comes like the offset one. So it comes first, and then the longest tube comes here. The pin is still there. Click. Okay. Now I can put thread lock here. Okay, we're gonna have to put these now. So here for reverse we had plunger, then we had this small spring, spacer, and the plug. A bow, a spring, and the plug. For the plug we're gonna use a bolt to hold it in place. There you go. Okay. And with that, I think we are done here. The shifter, this part we're gonna assemble when it is on the transmission, because I don't want to disturb it too much, because I'm afraid that one of these plugs might fly away. So we're gonna leave it alone for now. Whoa, so it turns out that there's a lot of work on the transmission. I was afraid that there was not going to be enough footage for one video, but actually I have so much footage that I am going to have to divide it in two. So stay tuned for part 2 of the transmission and differential, and don't worry, I figured out my mistake with the spacers and I fixed it, so you're going to see that in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.